I'm a legend.
I'm a legend. I'm a legend.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Busted Lip Podcast. I am Mark Pavelich, my favorite co-host of all time, eight-time world boxing champion, WBC, WBA, Jelena Mrdjenovich, and our special guest today, everybody, the return of the one and only former Edmonton Oiler, former Montreal Canadien, my favorite vegan on the planet, Mr. George Laraque.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. That's awesome.
Welcome back, George. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show. And it's been a while since. Before Jesse was the co-host when we had the show, and now it's Jelena. So we've upgraded, and we are very excited.
You said it, I didn't.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm allowed to say that. So it's great to have you back on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. That's awesome.
So you were mentioning the other day that you were going to be probably in Edmonton for the summer.
Yeah, because usually my kids, my twins, they come to Montreal for the summer with me, but they're getting older. They're 17 now, so the kids are in Edmonton now. For a long time, that where they used to come there. Now I'm going to be in Edmonton mostly, so it's easier for them, so they see their friends, and so I'll be spending more time.
That usually happens.
Which is normal. So I'll be spending more time in Edmonton.
So I have a question. Do you prefer, or not prefer, because I know you love Edmonton. Edmonton, you were here a long, long time. But is it easier for you to go out and about in Montreal or in Edmonton, or is it the same kind of response when you go out? Because I've been out with you at events and charity things, and and sometimes it's a nightmare for you to go out with the photos and the autographs and this and that. Do you find that you blend in a little more in Montreal, or do you?
Yeah, in Edmonton, it's harder because people don't see me as often as in Montreal. So when people see me, because they know I don't live there, it's different. It's harder. But in Montreal, because I live there, I grew up there, and my radio show's there, and I have so many events that I do in Montreal. People, they see me all the time.
So
Versus Edmonton,
bad.
they don't. No, so Edmonton, it is. It's harder, but it's okay. I'm used to it. And the thing
And
is, I cannot hide.
you don't exactly blend in. It was like, it's the same as when I go out with, when I work with Tyson, we go out and everybody's like, oh, I don't get it. Can't you just hide him? I'm like, how do you hide a 6'9" dude? Like, same with you. You're George, how tall are you? 6'4", 6'6"? 6'5".
6'5", but it's just,
how do you hide a
with my hair?
Forget your hair. You're like, what, 270 pounds? Like,
I'm 300.
Oh,
my hair
see, I was
down.
giving you the benefit of the doubt.
But it's okay. I'm used to it. If I was feeling quiet, I'll just stay at home. But I know when I leave my house, it comes with the job, and it's okay. And one day it'll be my son. One day my son's gonna make it, and he's gonna have to cope with all that.
Do the same, go through the same process type thing.
Pretty much.
Would you be considered now the ambassador of things? Like, every time I watch your stuff now, it's like you're the ambassador. Like, I want to call you the ambassador. Like, I don't know if that's not a nickname, but that's like you're an ambassador to so many things. Like, when you come to Edmonton, you're the ambassador for the Edmonton Oilers. When you go to Seattle, you are the ambassador for the Seattle Seahawks. When you go to Montreal, you're the ambassador. It's crazy, but it's funny how people, for some reason, gravitate to you, but you are literally you're so believable, and you're so you turn into a fan. And you're famous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really are. Like, you turn into a fan. And the crazy part is that gets everybody else excited around you. And I see it every time, no matter if you're in Seattle or Montreal or whatever. So do you see yourself as an ambassador now?
I understand what you're saying, and it makes sense. I see myself as a human being, as a normal person. Yeah, I guess I'm a passionate person that when I do, the Seahawks, the teams give me tickets. The Seahawks, the team in
Sure,
Seattle,
they should.
they say I'm one of their biggest ambassadors. Edmonton. I played in Edmonton for so long. I did so many charitable stuff. So yes, every big events that there is, the others they're having me. And Montreal, I'm born here, right?
Sure.
And so many businesses in Montreal. So yeah, big events in Montreal and charitable stuff. I'm really involved with charity too. I think that's the biggest thing. I love doing charitable stuff. I feel so fortunate to have played so long in the NHL that I feel that, hockey was a sport because of the fans. So a way to give back, to be thankful is to donate time, throughout different charities. So, and because of the passion that I bring every time I do something. Yeah. So yeah, what you say makes sense. I never thought about it like this, but if you were to analyze it, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because it has to come from somewhere. And I have a strange suspicion it comes from your parents. I know your parents are both from Haiti. And when we did the interview a long time ago, you mentioned them quite a bit during the interview. And I would imagine it would maybe come from them.
No.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's just my parents were born in Haiti, but they didn't want me to play hockey, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They didn't support me. They didn't understand the sport, right? So when I was a kid, I was telling them I was going to play in the NHL. They didn't know what that meant, but they didn't want me to play, and they just wanted me to go to school and
No, but
focus on.
what I meant was the charity side, not the hockey
Yeah,
side.
yeah, no, I know, but the reason why I'm telling you this is
Oh,
very
okay,
important.
okay.
Is that when you're a kid and you want to play in the NHL, you don't have your parents' support. You rely on faith, right?
So you do.
So I had a relationship with God when I was a kid because my parents were supporting me. And I was always telling God, and I'm serious when I say this, because I had no support. I said, if I make it in the NHL, I promise you that I will be thankful and I'll give back and I'll do my part to help out other people.
I love that.
So that's what happened because
How old were you,
my
George,
parents,
when that happened? How old were you when you said you were talking to God? How old were you when this happened?
uh, I grew up with so much racism when I was a
Sure.
kid that I wanted to play in the NHL and my parents not supporting me when I was 7, 8 years old. And I remember and then because I was alone, my parents didn't support me.
Of course.
So at one point, I had to go to the rink on my own on a bicycle in the winter. So think
How'd you
about it.
carry your
You're a
hockey gear?
Yeah, no, but I did on my shoulder.
Yeah.
That's because those are stories with boxing all the time. You're like, oh, I carried my bag, da da da. But I'm like, my nieces and nephews play hockey. They're very young, but I'm carrying their bags and they're like 5 years old. That's a big bag to carry on a bicycle.
No, but
Go
you're
on.
talking
No,
about
it
carrying a
is.
bag in the middle of winter in Montreal on the back of
Yeah.
a bike.
Riding
It's
a
big
bicycle.
difference. Bananas.
I know,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm saying, like, how?
My dad tells
But
that
go
stories all
on.
the time. My dad tells that story all the time that I would go in the winter with my bike with my hockey bag in the shoulder. They didn't care. They thought I was going to quit. So think about it. If I did this alone and I worked to get money to get my own hockey gears because they didn't know what that was,
Sure.
then where does that come from? Think about it. Charitable and all these stuff that I do. My parents are born in Haiti. They don't know anything about hockey. So God gives me the strength to do what I did, then I'm thankful and I owe him, So nobody taught me about being charitable and do all these things. I'm just like, if God gave me a platform to be the person that I am today, with that platform, what am I going to do now? Be the richest guy in the cemetery when I die? We share some of this wealth
But you're seven or
and
8
be
years old and
there.
you're talking to God. But did you hear about God prior to that from your parents, or that was something on your own?
We were born Catholic,
Okay. Yeah.
and I remember I helped out in the church when I was a kid. I helped out helping out the priest with many um, things to do around the church and during ceremony and all that stuff. So I grew up as a Catholic, so I knew a lot about religion and Jesus and all that stuff, and it made a lot of sense to me because all the dreams that I had, I was alone, and faith is what gives me strength to pursue my dream to do this. And also the story of Jack Robinson, because Jack
Of
Robinson
course.
being the first black player that played
Yeah.
baseball, and and reading his book when I was a kid, all the struggle he had to go through to make it was very similar to my story. Not as bad because he was getting death threat. I wasn't, but still, I was getting called the N-word every day that I was playing hockey as a kid, and my parents were not there. So you could just imagine the parents,
By yourself,
how
Yeah.
hard they were on me. So
Yeah.
it's because of all these things that, you know, it made my character much stronger. I became tougher. I became stronger, and I didn't care about other people's opinion. I didn't care about people saying you're not going to make it. It's funny because when I talk about the secret, the power of the universe,
Sure.
sending to the universe what you want to accomplish, what you want to do. I've been doing that since I was a kid. So
Yeah, but-
when I find
but-
out about it after, about thinking positive thing and sending stuff to the universe, I did it all my life.
But George, when you say that though, see what you're doing now. Like, I'm a practicing Christian. I have been for 30 something years, right? And I'm like, but when you say I put it out, I hear this a lot from people. They go, "Oh, I put it out in the universe, and I put it out in the universe, and I put it in the universe." And I'm like, "Who are you see?" And then you ask those people, "Well, who are you putting it out to?" And they don't have an answer for you. But you already,
Mark, does
you already answered what you just said. You just said it. You said it's God that you're putting it out to.
Yes.
And
does it matter? But doesn't matter who you put it out to. I think it's the power of positivity. Like, we've talked about this at lengths. Like, I personally don't care about people's beliefs as long as you have something that you look forward to, right? So whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever it is, I'm not a big... I have my own beliefs. I don't feel like it matters to the world what I believe in, but it's just the fact of having something higher than yourself, and that's putting it out there. So does it matter really who you put it out there to, as long as you put it?
I think it. I think
in
me
the
personally,
universe.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. But what I'm saying about George is he clarified that when he's putting it out to the universe, he's putting it out to God. He's not just like some fictitious things or whatever. Because you hear that from people all the time now. When you watch
Right.
television, "Oh, I'm putting it out to this universe," and then you ask them, "Well, who are you putting it out to?" And they're like, "Oh, to the universe." And I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." But they don't use the G word. And I'm just saying that George did, and I love that he did that.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I have something I have to show you while we're doing this, so you could quite understand. Jelena, I understand what you're saying, but I was pointing out to
No.
God, and I have to show you this. Look at this. You see this in the background?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
This picture, I had to get it when I made it to the NHL,
Fantastic.
and it's God involved us looking to Jerusalem the day before he
Correct.
died. I had to get these pictures because every day I played in the NHL, every time I got into a fight, I was praying in front of that picture for my protection, the protection of the guy that I was fighting with. So, John, I understand what you're saying, but me, it's putting out to the universe is my relationship with God. That's what it was. Because
Right.
as a kid,
100%.
I didn't have my parents, but I
Amen.
needed this.
Fantastic,
He was my
George.
dad. He was my supporter. And I'm telling you, and I could go, there's so many things I could show you that I have that to me was so important. And that's why.
I'm not saying I disagree, because I do, like, I believe in God too. And when you speak, even though you're not saying it to him, you're putting it in the universe. If you do have a belief system, you are talking to a higher power, right? But not everybody does, right? And
but that's okay.
That's what I was saying. And
no,
that's
I'm
what I
not
was
sa-
saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that everybody should. I'm not saying everybody
Correct.
should. I'm just
Correct.
talking about me.
100%.
Like, yes, you asked me a
And
question,
I do
right?
love. So I didn't know, but I
You go,
actually
George.
didn't.
You go, George. You just keep going with
I
that,
didn't-
George, because that's the problem with the world today. You're saying something on a podcast that 90% of our guests from the NFL, NHL, all of them, they all use the G word, and they're not worried about what people think anymore, and they're not worried about that people are touchy about it, because people don't care anymore. They want to tell people what they believe in, and that's your right to do so. And I'm a big supporter of that. But I'm glad that you clarified. You're not just putting it out to the universe, to this fictitious air. You're putting it out to God. That's
Yeah.
with a G.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and I
to
didn't
answer
know
your
actually, and I didn't
Yeah.
know that's why you did your charitable
Love
work.
it.
I just, one of the that's how we originally met, was in some charity event in Edmonton, because we both are very active in the charitable community. All three of us actually are, but I never asked. I always just, like, for me, it's like, if I have the opportunity to give back, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? I have this platform that if I want to, I like helping people. And I think that's all of our characteristics is, always giving back, because then something's coming forward, or whether it comes forward or not. But I didn't know that story. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you.
It's fantastic,
But,
George. I'll never forget it. Never.
But the thing about that is that, why did I play in the NHL? Why? Like, I'm
Because you
black.
worked hard.
Black
worked
people
hard.
don't, I understand, but black people don't play hockey. My parents were born in Haiti. They don't understand the sport. They didn't want me to play. They came to Montreal when they were 20 years old. My family don't play hockey. Everybody, my cousins. If you look at all the odds of this, there was a purpose why I played in the NHL.
Correct.
There was a mission. Yes, I worked hard.
Your purpose was to break barriers.
Yes, but I worked hard, yes. But also, you need balance to make it in the NHL. Because while as a kid, I wanted to play there, there's millions of kids that have the same dream. So why did I make it? Why did I play 13 years in the NHL? Who gave me the strength to be there, other than the fact that I worked hard? Because there's many kids that worked hard and they didn't make it to the NHL.
100%.
It's God.
100%.
God chose me to be one of his, servant, putting me in the NHL, and now I owe him debt. And to do all the charity stuff is serving him, just like he helped me and guide me through the way to make it to the NHL. And I understand that to some people, it could be controversial what I'm saying, and because some people, they don't believe in God, or
Sure.
and it's something that, but I don't care what people think.
Yeah, good.
All my life, I didn't care what people think, because
Why start
playing
now,
hockey,
George? Why start now?
was something that people were like, you'll never make it. You know what? I'll never be ashamed of saying that I believe in God, and He put me
Love
there. So, I could talk about Christianity all night.
Yeah.
And it's fine, and I'm proud of it. And so that's why when I was saying your question, there's so many layers to that question. Where did it come from? But it didn't come from my parents. All that to explain you this.
No, but
why I'm like this today.
I have a lot of pastor friends, and I have big pastor friends in the United States, and some of them are pretty famous pastors. And the funny part is that when I talk about faith, most people listen to me because I avoid using the word God or Jesus, but that's exactly what I'm saying, because most of the time when you're talking to people, they're not believers. So I talk about different things. When you get to church, that's when they're going to teach you about God or Jesus. But the whole time I'm that's the back layer of everything I'm talking about. But I'm not on the recruit to get people to church. But it's funny how people, when they see how I live my life, they go, Mark, I got a great car, I got a great this, I got a great that, but something's missing in my life. Something's missing. I got great kids, I got this, and they're naming off everything. And then they look at me and I don't say anything. I just look up. And then 2 seconds later, I see them sitting behind me at church, and I don't say nothing, right? Because it's not me that did that, but it makes their life better. And if it makes your life better, why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah, I just...
Jelena's so confused. She's so confused.
I'm not confused. I'm not confused. I'm not confused.
Jelena knows my faith and my belief, and we don't ever really talk about it. But if it comes up on the show...
On the contrary, because we actually talk about belief and religion quite a bit.
Because people just bring it up. Yeah.
Yes, bring it up, but you and I even off there, we talk about it, and when we're booking guests and they want to go on a Sunday, I was like, Mark has church, sorry. But I'm not confused. I totally get it. I understand it. And then there's a lot of athletes that have a very big belief in God, like Tyson, and I always hate bringing up his name, but I work with him so much. Sure. I've been to church with Tyson 6, 7, 8 times at least in the last I've been with him for a few months. Like, I've been with him, and I'm embarrassed to say, I've been with him to church more than I've been to my own church here, which is embarrassing to say. However, I believe that when we work at the levels that we work at and we give all of ourselves, you have to have a belief that someone is watching out for you to be able to give us the power to do what we do. right? You know, like you said, why was I in the NHL? Why am I an 8-time world boxing champion, first time ever WBC super featherweight world champion? I didn't.
Right.
Odds are, and from Edmonton, Alberta, odds are against all of us. So someone has chosen a path for us to do what we're going to do. And so
CJ,
for us to give it back.
That's the hook though. You go someone. That's you do that all the time. And I'm not judging you for it, but you say someone. And this is the part that I don't, this is the part that's offensive to Christians now. And it's time that we start saying this out loud, because my dear pastor friends that have 9 million followers on Instagram tell me all the time, they go, Mark, why don't on your podcast, if someone brings it up and they want to say the vibe or this or that, but they don't want to use that word, he says, it's your job now moving forward to correct them. Now, you don't have to believe in it, but I'm telling you, when you say that like that, you don't use the G word or you don't use the J word. And I like both of them very much. And the funny part is, we've had guests on this show that you don't even know that are spiritual, but they bring it up. And I'm like, good for you. I'm glad that you're not.
Listen, I don't have a problem with you calling me out. Like, it's just, for me, like, I have friends all around the world, all different faiths, all different religions, and some that don't believe in anything. And so for me, like, I welcome all kinds. For me, all kinds of beliefs, all kinds of things. My friends, I will never judge them. I will never, nothing like that. So my language is different because, again, and I travel lately a little bit more than you, and like we've had on guests that are like, for me, I'm not educated enough to not offend people, so that's why I keep my language.
Jay, we've been doing
PC.
the show together and it's been fantastic. PC. It's growing like crazy, the show. And you know what the funny part is? The first day on the show, what did you tell me? You said, I don't give a shit, Mark, what anybody thinks. I don't care what nobody thinks. I don't give a crap. Did you not say
I don't care, Mark. Mark, I don't care, but the difference is, as I just said, I'm not educated enough on all types of religion to be able to have the conversation, right? Georges and I have had this conversation too. I'm like, I'm not educated. We've talked about Buddhism. We talk about all the different things. You have some Buddhist beliefs too, right? Like, where you practice Buddhism and things like that, right? No?
Yeah, Buddhism is about no, it is right. Buddhism is like believing of doing the right thing, doing good things to other people in a way.
But so is Christian faith, right?
Yeah, but the thing is that Buddhism is like doing right thing rightfully to others, right? It's not the same thing as Christianity, but when we're talking about it, I was explaining that in a way, when you do charitable stuff, it's kind of the same belief as Buddhism, but it's not the same God. It's totally different. I'm talking about the act of doing good deeds and stuff, which is similar to what the belief that religion is, but I'm not, Buddha is not my God. Jesus, God is, right? So it's just, I was doing the similarity when we're talking about it, the similarity of their belief that they have, but just not the same God.
Right. Yeah. Listen, a religion conversation is such a debate for everybody. Like, and
it's
everybody
a spiritual
has
conversation. It's a spiritual
conversation.
Who's talking about religion?
Again, I'm not educated enough. So I'm like, I just keep my mouth shut and I listen and I learn as I go. And it's not that I don't have beliefs. It's just, I don't understand everything. So maybe that's on me.
But you know what the most important thing is? There's no seniority in believing in God, or someone's above someone or up beneath someone, or what you don't know or what you do know. That's something we better get straight with everybody. There's no hierarchy in the Christianity world. If people think that, you're wrong. There's zero. We're all on the same level, man.
I didn't say that it was, but all I'm saying is that for me to speak
about certain things, but it doesn't matter.
For me to speak about things, I like to be educated. So otherwise, I like to listen and learn. So George, I wasn't confused. I was just listening and learning. So.
But anyway, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging anyone.
Not at all.
their faith or whatever. And
I can't
it's a
believe both of
coincidence
you were
that
judging me today.
No,
I'm not. We're
no,
not.
don't do that.
And it's a
Don't do
it's
that.
I'm
actually,
kidding. I'm
it is
kidding.
actually a coincidence that we're going there right now because I'm answering a question, but I went such a different direction to it that it ended up being a spiritual like conversation, which is awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I told you, George, it was a conversation. When I asked you to come on, you're like, what are we talking about? I was like, who knows? We'll see what the episode brings.
Yeah.
It happens, but at the same time is, you know, what's crazy is that a lot of times it comes to this, and it's not me that brings it to the table. You can attest to this, Jelena. We can talk about George, being Whitney Houston before in a drag show. You know what I mean? But like, who cares? Like, no one cares.
Very
No one
big.
cares. Yeah, but no one cares about that. Like, I'm trying to tell you, this is the George I want to talk to. I was the first interview I did 5 years ago. I've watched the episode when we did it with Jesse, and I can remember that episode literally word for word, but not remember what I had for lunch yesterday. So to give you an idea, what George told me the time when he was sitting in the arena when he was a kid and people were using the N-word with him, nobody ever heard him say that before. 5 years ago when he did the interview, people were like, oh my God, Mark, I watched the interview, I was crying. People were crying. These are white men that were crying because they were embarrassed that happened to him. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy, man. This is a profound effect on people. And when you were talking about, driving with a hockey bag in the middle of winter, on your bike, I mean, that's what people don't understand. That they just don't. They don't get it. What happened? Yeah. And you are on the same level. Listen, I'm sorry, George, but you are on the same level as a Jackie Robinson. It's just that he's American and they glorified it so much more. And of course, what he did was spectacular. But George, let me explain this to you on this show today. You're on the same level as him, man. I'm telling you right now, just we're in Canada. So it's a lot less more hype or whatever the case may be, but you are PK Subban, they all came after you.
You broke the barriers for them.
You really did. You really did.
Yeah, but it's just that Jackie, he was getting death threats. I never got death threats though.
Yeah, but you were
because back then it was but back then, remember they were forbidden to do the hotel.
Yes,
like
correct.
The stuff that they had to go through it was different. It was the day where black and white were separated.
Yeah,
there was laws.
It was a different time.
Black.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I understand what you're saying. It's a big compliment to say that I was the same level, but I read all his autobiographies, and I don't see myself even close to the level that he was at.
You know what I see when you come to Edmonton? I see you one day doing a sermon in a church, in a Christian church. I see that like yesterday. Like you could do it just from you don't even have to prepare for it, George.
Yeah,
you just stand.
I could.
You could do it with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even have to write nothing down.
Yeah, I could. That I could.
Yes.
100% I could. Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we'll have Jelena listening to it.
Yeah, she'll sit next to
We're gonna guide you through God. It's never too late than ever, Jelena. It's never too late.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
Hold on. For the record, like, I do believe in God. Just for the record, like, I just don't go to church that often.
Yeah.
So I believe I can say my prayers
blushing.
at home.
I've never seen her blush ever on this show.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yes.
Ever.
I'm like, hold on. You guys are acting like I've never been to church. I've been to church. And I do.
George,
listen,
tomorrow is
I went to a Catholic school growing up. Like, I
gotta tell George, you know that tomorrow, April 28th, is Jelena Mrdjenovich Day in Edmonton.
It is.
Wow.
George did not know that.
That's her date for her. The date, her date.
Thanks for calling. Thanks for calling me for all these years, George.
That's amazing. Your day. That's amazing.
Yeah, I've had it. I was telling Mark the story. I laughed because it popped up in my phone somehow. But I was telling him the story like, I had my 50th fight here. I was opening my gym, and I obviously didn't go to the gym to work while I was fighting. So I got there after, picked something up for one of my family members. And a guy that came, a friend of mine who came into town, and anyway, I saw this plaque sitting on the back, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then I pulled it out. It was like, we the mayor, I think it was Don Iveson at the time, here does consider today, April 28th, whatever, Jelena Mrdjenovich Day, blah, 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 so it was for my 50th fight. But nobody told me. They just dropped it off. Courier dropped it off and no one said anything. So anyway, I have a few friends that text me every 28th for Happy Jelena Day. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Do you have a day in Edmonton, George?
No, I'm not as big as you.
I'm
not as
kidding.
big as you. I'm not as big as you. Congratulations.
It was very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a few years. I think Mark's just embarrassed that he's just hearing about this now, but
No, I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm promoting it.
Yeah, what was that? When was my 50th fight? 20
I'll never forget the date now.
19,
I'll never forget the date. It's April 28th. It'll be in the calendar for the rest of my living life. And I'll make sure that everybody knows. And tomorrow I'll make sure on all social media platforms, including my own, that they'll know it's your. I'll make a street sign that says your name on it, that I've done that before. And let people know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I love? Actually, George, you were at that 50th fight of mine, weren't you? Were you in town for that? For my 50th fight? The girl with the red hair. She had the red hair. Where was she? Italy. Was she Italian or French?
No, I watched it online. I watched that one online, but your first probably 2015 fight, I saw them in Edmonton when I was playing there. Yeah, and I would go there. I would go there with Daryl Duke and Franco Sestito.
Oh wow!
And I watched all your fights.
Holy shit!
So this is where I was.
All the fights.
Yeah.
So this is where I was going with this. What I love about you as a athlete, but also now retired, is that you are a big, and Mark touched on it with the Seahawks, Canadiens, the Oilers. Like you are just a big fan of everybody who's done anything in sports, right? You support kind of everything, and I've always loved that about you.
Fantastic.
Always, and that's part of that giving back. So, I do remember though. What year was the lockout? 04 or 05? I told you I was going to bring this up. What year was the lockout?
I think 05.
Yeah.
05. So, Mark, I don't know if I've ever told you this story. George was talking about having a boxing fight. Do you remember this, George?
Yes, I remember. With Tyson, yes. Mike Tyson.
So he was talking about doing a
exhibition,
but like obviously massive because they were talking about Mike Tyson, right? And so he's in Edmonton Oilers at the time. He comes down and somebody reached out to Milan. They're like, Milan, can you maybe give George some tips? That was probably Daryl, I think, Daryl Duke back in the day. And so George comes down to work out at Cougar Boxing Gym. And again, there'd been the lockout. It was whatever. We're working out at Cougar, and we've talked about Milan a lot on this podcast, but, big Eastern European, has an accent, was trying to explain something to George, and he's like, Jelena, show him how to do this. And I remember you looked at me, because this was like, again, earlier in my career. I think I had just won my world title that year. He rolled his eyes and like kind of watched like offhand like this. And then he was like, whatever. He's like, no, pay attention. Milan's giving this conversation. He rolls his eyes again. And then like, obviously the NHL worked their things out, but then you come to my fight after that. He's like, holy shit, I didn't know you were actually that good. Because when we were in the gym, he didn't want to get instruction from me. Because he was like, I could beat this girl up. I'm like, duh, you're so much bigger than me. So that was my first interaction with George, and I was like, what a dick. Like, I was like, he just doesn't want me to teach him anything. And then, after all the charity things, I find he's just an amazing person. So I always laugh every time someone talks about you, because I'm like, my first experience wasn't so great.
Yeah. No, but still, after that, I saw pretty much all your fights. Every time you're in Edmonton, I always go see them. And even Milan, I used to go to his underground casinos.
Wow.
Like, think about it. They were illegal. And I would go and play them while I was with the Oilers.
Oh, my God.
Just to let you know
funny.
how close I was with the family and stuff.
Holy smokes, man.
Listening to your dad yelling, Rebra, Rebra, because he was yelling and cheering for you all the time. And I was listening to him and asking, what does that mean? So, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's funny. Yeah.
And
you're a big supporter of everything.
Yeah.
Every athlete in sports. And yeah.
The first time
I love that.
when I used to own the MFC, we asked George to play in a poker tournament at the River Creek Casino, and he said, "Yep, I'll come and play." And he went and played, and he showed up and played in the thing. And I remember because Ethan Morrow also came, and he won the tournament, and then ended up giving the money away to some kid that was an MMA fighter. Like this is the kind of people you get in Edmonton. So this is what I've always loved about this city. I did live in Montreal, and that's probably my second place ever with my wife. And literally, I love Montreal, but there was something about Edmonton and the people that made it different for me.
Yeah. George, did you know Mark's wife is French? So we were talking a little bit earlier. He's like, "How come you don't speak French?" And I was like, "Well, because I'm not a good person." I don't know.
No,
I don't speak French because I
you,
just never
speak
learned.
you speak French, Mark?
No, I understand 90%, but I don't speak it well at all. And my mother-in-law is moving here next month from Montreal, and she doesn't speak one word of English.
Also, you'll pick it up. We'll pick it up quick.
Yeah,
Pick it up.
both my kids are fluent in French, and my
Yeah.
wife still has a very strong French accent. And she, like I used to tell people all the time, there's three things that ever were great that ever came out of Montreal. Was my wife, smoked meat, and George Laraque.
Smoke meat.
Not
Yeah.
sorry, George, but I did say that. Okay, so putting your name and smoke meat together, that's a no. But I'm saying for me that was because when I used to go
Or
there.
it's a right, or it's a yes. Because I mean,
Oh my God!
you
Listen,
and, you
I
and
know
I
you're
are
gonna
not
hear me saying
vegans.
this, but like Barbie Barnes was like, I was obsessed with the ribs at Barbie Barnes, and I used
What?
to. Oh my
man.
God, I loved it. And then, I'm sorry.
Need to get you guys to try tofu.
No,
I have. I did.
absolutely not.
I did,
No,
George.
we
I did
both tried
6
it,
months.
and we-
I went vegan for 6 months because I wanted to lower
Nice.
I wanted to lower my cholesterol. And I said to the doctor, I go, if I go strictly vegan, like hardcore vegan for 6 months, could it happen? And he goes, yes, try it. So 6 months, no problem. I don't care. It wasn't like it was like a big sacrifice. And I ate tofu, and went vegan for 6 months, went back to the doctor, and my cholesterol was exactly the same. And I was like, okay, forget it. And I was like, no way, man. No way. No. And I did it religiously for 6 months. And I was like,
Whoa.
but mine's hereditary apparently, because my dad, he's in his 90s, he has it. My uncle had it. Everybody had it. So
Yeah.
and I take a very small little thing to make it kind of, but I actually thought, well, I'll go vegan. That'll help. I did.
Yeah, I've been vegan since 2009. I'll never turn back. And I don't
Never,
judge
right?
people that
Never,
I don't
George?
judge people that no, never. I don't judge people that eat meat. But again, what you guys are eating is dead. It's dead animal corpse.
Correct.
It's dead.
Sometimes it's
dead.
fresh. Sometimes it's freshly dead.
It's never
Oh,
really
yeah, fresh. You eat it alive?
Yeah.
You eat animal alive?
Yeah, no.
I said freshly dead. So
There's
it hasn't been dead that long.
HGH. There's HGH in the meat that you're having. It gives you cancer.
Yeah.
It's staying in your
Not when my
intestines for
dad,
weeks.
not when my dad cooks a buffalo. There's no cancer in that. It's straight off the farm.
Yes, it is healthier, yes, but it still stays in your intestine for weeks before you digest it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, I don't want to give you guys lesson about
Listen, you
eating
can,
meat
you
or
can,
whatever
you can
because
vegan out on the show, George. You're the guest.
Listen.
You're allowed to do whatever you want, George.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you can
I've
vegan
been
out,
out.
man.
you guys live in Edmonton. Alberta beef is the thing in
Oh,
Edmonton.
it's death here. It's oil. Listen, I don't care what anybody says. It's still oil and beef here. No one.
Yeah, I
And
know.
and if people want to go against that, good luck.
So it's okay, you guys.
Mark and I are meat eaters, obviously. But George and I have been out for food, Mark, and I was like, we're not going to no vegan joint. And he's like, well,
Yeah, it's
you
hard,
should try
yeah.
it.
No,
And I
but
was
it's
like,
okay. You have your meat and I have my vegetables. You know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am absolutely not going. I did it one time with one of my friends. I went to a vegan spot in Edmonton, and I was starving after that. I made them take me out for a proper steak, and I was like, you can
Hey,
sit and watch me eat
Jenna,
some food.
I guarantee you,
Yeah.
if we go to a vegan
No.
spot, you'll be stuffed.
Yeah, because you have to go with the right vegan. You have to go with the real
Yeah.
vegan. You just
we
can't wing
tried
it
a
when you go
little of
there.
everything, and it just anyway. Let's be honest. I'm never gonna become a vegan. My father would slap me upside the head.
Yeah, he would. He would.
He would just be like, "Pitch que te mata now."
Yeah. She just said that on the show, Jay. Jesus.
Yeah, dude. You said it before.
Yeah, listen. Translation. Yeah,
No,
it's,
we don't need
culture.
to
In our
translate
culture,
it.
there's no I don't know one vegan Croatian person, and I don't know one vegan Serbian person in the world. In the world.
Whoa.
Yeah, Croatia.
It's not
Croatia.
happening.
We don't like. That's like to say that to someone in Croatia, they would actually. You're right, Jelena. You get a slap upside the head. You would.
Listen, I don't know any one Haitian person that is vegan also.
You don't?
And I don't care about, no, and I don't care
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't, because people are, no,
No,
we're responsible for what we put in our mouth.
that's right.
And I love animals, and I decide not to eat them for the environment, for my health, and for the planet. If you guys don't care about animal living, the planet, your health, and whatever, it's your choice.
Yes.
It's your choice. Because when you eat an animal, you eat their soul. You eat their soul.
Stop.
Everything.
Everything. Your soul. Yeah. Do you really feel
Stop,
like going to have a
George.
hamburger right now? I do not.
Mark,
do
we
not.
just talk about God.
I don't.
Just
Yeah.
talk about God. God created animals.
Yes, of course.
Like they want to live. They feel compassion like we do. Why killing them to eat them? They want to
my
be loved. They feel
gosh.
compassion. They don't want to be killed so then they end up in your grill.
Have you
You're
ever
correct.
been to a farm, George?
Okay, so because your cow has a name and you slaughter it, it's okay after? Because she has a name and you're petting her when she
Do
was
you want to
growing
know
up?
what's funny? So I have a funny story about this. I had when I was young, they have it's called 4-H, right? So you like go and you learn about farming and this and that. I don't know if George knows about it. So anyway, I was in 4-H because I grew up on a ranch, a farm. And one of the things in one of our projects through 4-H was to like you get a calf and you have to raise it and then you sell it eventually at the auction and you make money and then it goes in and they're trying to teach you basically how to be a farmer, right? Like, so this is how you do it, blah, blah, blah. So I raised this calf and I had bottle fed it and I had it like there was like lightning one night. The calf was freaking out because obviously I took it from its mom and I was raising it on my own. And so I've like slept with this cow and everything. And then I go with my dad to the auction. It's like a yearling at this point. We sell it. I make money on it. And I was like, Dad, where did the... And this is like when I'm like 7, 8. So I'm like, Dad, where did the cow go to? He goes, oh, we sold it to a butcher house. He goes, we're going to eat that later tonight. And I just died laughing. Not laughing. I think I was crying at the time. But
Of
after
course, you're
like
a
my
child,
dad
yeah.
explained, everything to me. He's like, that's just that's life. That's the circle of life for that animal. So it is what it is.
But it doesn't have to be the circle of life for that animal.
Anyway,
It doesn't have to be.
Until you've been to the
You-
jungle. Listen, until you've been in the jungle of Africa, which I have. And I
Yes,
was in
you
the
have.
jungle and I saw it with my own eyes.
the circle
And I
of
saw,
life.
correct. And Jelena, I swear to God, that's where I'm not joking when I say that you're right about this, because I saw it with my own eyes. I saw mother lionesses going inside a zebra, head inside, pulling the food out for the children to eat. And then, of course, some American person that's on the other side goes,
George
"Oh
is
my
like
God,
getting
I can't believe that animal's eating that other animal." I'm like, and my guy in my thing goes, "Hey lady, you're not in a zoo. This is not a zoo. This is the wild. This is the way it works. Animals eating animals, right?" And what happens is that you can make some sense of it that way, but then that's other animals eating other animals, right?
Yeah.
So
So do we need to copy animals to live?
Correct.
No.
Aren't we an animal?
Animals,
Oh, we're
they
mammals.
also rape each other, animals. Do we do that? No. They eat
Well, some
they
people
eat
do.
each other raw. If
Yeah,
you eat
I
animal
saw it.
raw, what would happen to us?
We'd be sick.
We would die.
yeah,
Okay.
of course.
We have to cook it. We have to prepare. We have to they eat it raw with all the enzyme and everything in there. When you
Correct.
cook your food, your meat, Jelena, you kill the enzymes, you kill the nutrients. That's what you guys are having.
Does it help?
So
Hold on.
it's-
Does it help if I eat my steak medium rare, closer to rare?
You're gonna say something like that.
Jesus.
All right, okay.
Oh
I
my
won't
God.
bother you about being vegan. I won't
Yeah,
bother you
no.
about
Okay,
being
it's okay.
vegan anymore.
It's okay. And then listen, my kids are not vegan, so
No,
I don't
no
judge
way.
you guys.
No,
No.
they're not.
I don't impose this on anyone. My
So
kids,
your sons are not vegan?
no, my
He has a
daughter,
son
my
and a
son is not.
daughter,
No, I let them pick. It's not something to impose on kids.
I
They
agree.
grow up. You let kids make their own decision,
Yep.
and I would never impose my belief on anyone. We could joke about it like this, and
Yeah, yeah.
none of my friends are vegan. I'm the only one.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
But when you're around other vegans, I bet you this shit gets serious though, eh? Like
No, but it's
no
just
one's we're not laughing. They're not laughing.
the conversation we have and stuff, it's different, right?
Yes,
and it's awesome because it's rare. It's really rare that I'm around vegans.
Yeah.
So people around me eat meat, and it's fine. I have no problem with it. It's just
Yeah.
I won't eat it, but I don't get offended if they do.
It's
you
great.
eat
I know
You
cheese
don't
or
have to
no?
share.
some people
No
that are
cheese?
vegan. Some people that are vegan, they're really extremists that
Yes.
they can't
Yes.
talk to, like they get mad, offended. But
Yes.
I'm not like that in
So
a
do you
way.
eat cheese? Do you eat cheese
No,
or
I'm
no?
full vegan.
Full.
No animal products.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
That's legit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No jokes, Jay.
You know what? I know, but going out to eat with him is great. You get your own meal. You don't have to share anything.
No, but you know what's
Nothing.
great about it too, though, is that if I go out with George to eat, I would prefer to eat vegan.
Yeah. Jelena,
I wouldn't. Mark-
Jelena, once a while.
Mark's a better person than
No,
I am.
Jay-
Jelena, it's not going to kill you. You
No,
try
no,
something
Jay, you know
different
why?
once.
Because he'll know what to order. And that's like me.
Yeah.
I can't go to a Thai restaurant because every time I go there, I'm like, I never know what to order. It's like,
All
you
right,
gotta
George,
go to-
next time you're in town, we'll go
What?
out for vegan.
Yeah,
the
you don't
three
like
of
to
us.
try something different?
And then,
I love
Mark,
it.
I'll buy us burgers on the way home.
What's wrong with you, man?
You'll be
No.
stuffed. You're not going to want to eat burgers.
No, that's
You'll
what
be
I mean.
stuffed.
If you go with someone that knows, it's way different.
Yeah.
It's
I'm-
fine.
I
I'm
was
joking.
vegan for 6 months. I was vegan for 6 months, but I didn't
All
know
jokes
how it
aside,
was to
I
be
don't.
vegan.
I don't care. I honestly, all jokes aside, I don't care. I'm fine with whatever as long as it tastes great.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
That's what
I told
that's
you.
what- yeah, Busted Lip podcast. We never talk about sports. Just so everybody knows.
Right.
People tune in. They're like, oh, they're going to talk about
Hey,
fighting.
by the way, a little thing for you guys to watch on Netflix. Watch Game Changers.
I watched it because you
Did you
told
see
me.
it,
You
Lynn?
told,
Yeah.
you told me about it before too, right? So I was like, yeah, I watched it. And yeah, it does kind of. You think twice.
Jelena, watch it.
Yeah.
You're going to be very surprised.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I
all
turned
about
it-
athletes. It's all about athletes. Watch
No.
it. You're going to be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Yeah,
add
it
it
might
on
it
my
might
list.
it might change your life.
Probably not. We all know I'm pretty stubborn. You know, we all know this about
And don't
me.
forget,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
sleeping
yeah.
with the calf that you ate after didn't change your mind. I
That's
don't-
insane.
Yeah,
That's
Right?
insane.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably.
Obviously.
I'm listening, Jay. I'm listening. over
Thank you.
here.
So,
So
I,
what do you see
I
yourself?
do.
What do you see yourself doing, George? Like later on in life, like now that you're your father, you're raising your children, you got all this going on and all this other stuff. What do you see as coming as like? What do you see as your final chapter? You know, you're an ambassador. You're doing all these things, but there's something you have to be thinking about. Like, okay, I've always wanted to do this. What's this?
I'm actually doing what I've always wanted to do. I'm a public speaker, right? And I wrote a book like Jack Robinson in French and
Ooh,
English.
actually, hold on.
my own autobiography in French and English.
Okay.
And because of it, I'm a public speaker, and all the struggle that I've been, the story of the
Oh.
NHL, likely a tough guy. This is the English
Yeah.
version. So
Obviously, English. We just talked about how I can't speak French. You think I can
I'm
read?
listening, Jay.
You think I
Jay,
can
listen.
read French?
Jay, I'm
But yeah,
listening. Don't
so
worry. Go ahead.
And the thing is, because I have a lot of businesses, but the thing that touched me the most is the one that I could inspire people and help people to pursue to their dreams. And the public speaking, talking to people about my obstacle and everything that I've been through is helping out a lot of people that has obstacle in their everyday life, thinking that they can achieve them. And often when I do public speaking and I open up to questions, sometimes the question period is actually longer than a keynote because we could touch religion, we could touch veganism, we could touch subject that opens up to another thing. So I love speaking out to groups and to people about different things because many businesses, real estates and card store and stuff like this, but it's nothing that improves people's life. It's different side. But talking to people, connecting with people through public speaking is something that I love, and I do that a lot. And also, I love the job that I have with the NHL. I'm part of the NHL diversity
That's right.
include which is bringing hockey to different minorities in the world that can afford it or don't understand the sports, to
That's
get kid
awesome.
active and learning about hockey. So these type of things that I do, I love connecting with people in different area in the world. And so to
Do
me,
you think,
that
George? Do you think that hockey has become unreachable for kids that are like?
yeah, hockey unfortunately
It is, right?
It's
it's
so
becoming a business.
expensive.
It's too
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's becoming
So
a business.
expensive.
The stakes, the equipment is so expensive. People just can't afford it. Many
The
sports, you just need a pair of
tournaments,
running shoes. You could play. No, but the league
yeah,
itself,
Yeah,
like
but
to
leagues.
play in the league.
even in Canada, right? Like people
Yeah,
can't afford it.
no,
Everywhere.
the elite level is too expensive. People are mortgaging their house so the kids could play in elite level. Many kids could play elite level, but their parents can't afford it, so they don't. So unfortunately, it has become a business, and they don't. It's not necessarily the best kid,
It's
in
true.
minor league that plays in the top league. Is not the best kid. It's the kids that the parents have the most money,
Yeah.
and that's sad sometimes. And it's unfortunate. So that's why to make hockey more accessible to kids, and the NHL has donate a lot of funds to different charitable groups to help out those parents that the kids would love to play hockey that they can afford it. And there's more and more teams that are taking initiative to this because hockey is dead last in the United States and so the most popular sport is because of how expensive it is and how not
True.
accessible that it is. So the fact that I could work with a group that helps kids to learn about that stuff and learn how to play hockey, it's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome, George.
That is great. You know what? I'm shocked, actually. One thing you said was that hockey in the States is dead last for popularity. And I
Yeah.
get it. It's
It is.
expensive. But, I mean, you're like me. We're all the same. We watch every sport. We kind of watch a little bit of everything. And there's nothing more exciting than playoff hockey. Like, I have to say, like, you watch, NFL the last couple of years has been more exciting. But, like, you watch playoff hockey, NHL playoff hockey, the time we're in right now, people go nuts. Last year, the playoffs were going viral because it was so exciting. Every single game, every
It's only going
series.
viral
But
in Canada.
that's in Canada. That's
Not,
in Canada.
not just in Canada. It's in the States too.
Yeah, but Jelena,
I have friends. Dude, I had friends.
Jelena,
I had like
understand, but if you look at the ratings of what you're saying, hockey is
Right.
dead last.
LPGA golf.
It is dead last.
LPGA golf has higher ratings in the United States than the NHL hockey players.
Jelena, I
come on,
understand
I
what you're
didn't
saying.
know that.
Yeah, LPGA golf.
Jelena, hockey is dead last in the States.
Yeah.
It's dead last. And I understand what you're
When I
saying.
get
We're
it,
exci-
and
we're
I
excited
get
to
it
watch
beca-
it, but not that's us that it's excited because I have 20, 30, 40 friends in the States. They could give a shit to watch it. They won't even turn it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
but in
it too.
Canada, in Canada is a religion, right? It's
Yeah.
like so big.
Yeah, but even I guess I was in Florida, so Panthers. Ugh. So yeah, I guess I was in Florida, and so it's very I get it. Okay, I didn't know that.
It's centralized. But ask how
Yeah.
many people in Alabama, Kentucky, all these people that they don't turn on. They don't watch hockey.
Yeah, but that doesn't negate the fact that the playoff hockey is still more exciting. In my
I agree.
Because hockey, you understand it. You grew up in it. You grew up in Edmonton, so I understand it. But just the ticket price. Compare.
oh,
Nuts.
Go to a playoff game in Edmonton or Montreal,
Yeah.
and then go in the States in a playoff game. In the States, the tickets are much more accessible
Yes.
than
Yeah.
the premium tickets in Edmonton or Montreal. In Montreal, some people are paying $5,000 just to be in the lower bowl.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
For $5,000,
It's way more here.
You know what you would get?
Super Bowl.
Oh my God!
That's sweet.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
yeah,
You can go to Super
exactly.
Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy.
been all sports. All sports lately have gone absolutely ridiculous for ticket pricing lately. Like Mark and I were talking about this with the Super Bowl, obviously, but it was absolutely ridiculous. We talked about with the golf trying to get into the Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to get a ticket is just like
Yeah.
absolutely
George, I was at the Super
insane.
Bowl when Seattle played Patriots.
I
was
yeah,
there.
You were?
I was on the
Yeah.
50-yard line. I was on the 50.
Wow.
I was on the 50-yard line, lower bowl, Super Bowl, and I'm sitting next to I forget who I was sitting next to, someone famous that was a football player, and I was so excited because I was like, "Oh, Seattle's gonna win." I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots. And then we all know what happened that one.
I
That
was
was-
Yeah, but I wasn't
I was at that
50-yard
one.
against the Rams.
wow.
Because the
Ooh.
Super Bowl was the Seattle against the Rams. That was the Super Bowl. I knew that the pass would blow them up. But the Rams, that was the Super Bowl. And I had field access for the warm-up for the players.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was saying, like, that game was insane. But the Pats, I could have went, but I like close game. I knew that it was
But
the
that game
Pats were going to
close.
blow
That-
that.
no, but that- No, that was the one that was close. The one that didn't hand the
That
ball
was
off
the
to
one
Marshawn
where
Lynch.
Russell
Yeah,
Russell threw an
talking this
interception.
recent one.
No,
No.
not the
I thought
recent
talking
one.
We're
just,
No.
talking-
sorry.
We're talking
No,
about
Just
the.
talking now. I think talking just now.
No, I'm
No.
talking about the one. I went to the one when it was
Okay.
when
Well,
Brady-
They threw the interception.
when they threw
Oh.
the interception on the 1 yard line. I was
I'm
at that
so
one.
glad that wasn't there, man.
Oh.
I
that
was.
still
Mark and
hurts.
I were
That still
there.
hurts.
Yeah, that was crazy. That one. That was nuts.
That hurts.
That was
I was
insane.
like, that's my sister is like this, like a huge Seattle fan. Jesse was a huge Seattle fan. You were a huge Seattle fan. The golf pro at my golf course, he's a Seattle fan, and it's crazy because I know so many people that are Seattle fans. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go for Seattle, right? And then when they lost, I was like, oh my god, I can't.
I
believe,
lost.
like,
I
how they
lost
it.
money that game. I lost my, and I was gloating because I was in an area full of like Patriot fans. I was gloating because then I hung my head in shame and walked out.
I literally was wearing a Seattle hat during the game because that's how much I want. I'm a Raider for life, but I was wearing a Seattle hat because I was like, I want them to win, because you're at the Super Bowl, and people were around me that were Patriot fans, and they were like all like dying that they were going to lose, and then when they turned around and won, it was like they made it like they actually thought in their head that they did something to make that happen. Do you know what I mean? Like Seattle outplayed them the whole entire game, right? And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they lost.
Sports.
But that was probably one of the crazier Super Bowls ever. Sports. We love it.
Oh, we won. We won last year. We won.
Yeah, definitely. And then and what a great story. The whole storyline, the whole storyline of it's incredible.
Man, I didn't even think that we would make the playoff.
Yeah. Did you go to that one, George?
Yeah, that's the one I was telling you. I went
did?
not
Okay.
Super Bowl. I went to the game against the Rams in Seattle,
Oh,
which was the Super Bowl. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Because after that, the Super Bowl against the Pats, I knew we were going to blow them. Revenge of the last time we lost to them.
Correct, yeah.
And they weren't as good as,
They
with
were
Brady.
not. No.
So that's why. But the Rams game was amazing.
Yeah.
Because, I remember the beginning of the season when we got Darnold, I was like, oh, man.
That's
Don't
what I
know
said.
that we're seeing ghosts in Minnesota. I was like,
Yeah,
why?
yeah.
We went to get him because there's no other QBs. And we're
It's
like,
true.
we're down. We're not going to make the playoff. And we won the Super Bowl. Talking about a great story. It was amazing.
Someone forgot to tell him, George. Someone
Yeah.
forgot to tell him that he was used up and done. And that's the story. That's the story I love. Because
Yes, me too.
when I saw him get traded to there, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they got Donald. Like, and
Yeah, me too.
Then he delivered. He delivered.
Yeah, he
so it's
did.
like, so what, man? I was happy for him. I'm like, people shit on him. Everybody shit on him. And I was like, no, he didn't. He played unreal, and he did. He won it. And you look at it and you go, wow, it might not happen again, but he did it. He did.
Yeah, that's right.
He did it. Yeah. Well, George, I'm telling you, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show, and we can have you on for hours because it's literally like, Jelena's going to go, I didn't ask him these 400 questions I had today.
I do
because
this every time.
we
I
go
have
into-
questions for people, but we get so distracted
Sidetracked.
all
And
the
that's
time.
what we're supposed to,
so-
and that's when you have the best shows. And George,
Yeah.
Jelena, come on, I'll give you the last word today before George has the last word. You go ahead.
Well, I'm proud to say you're my friend, but I also I've always looked up to you as an athlete because of all of your charitable stuff, your tenacity, your integration with everything. I love your public speaking. I enjoy everything about you. So if people don't know your story, I'm going to promo your book. Grab his book if they don't know your story. But no, I appreciate you coming on and chatting with us and the Busted Lip podcast with Mark and I. Thank you. I always love listening to different versions. Like, we've been friends for years, and I always learn something new every time I talk to you. Not
Oh,
about
that's awesome.
veganism, though.
And George, if you can give us the last word, and you can leave something to the people watching the show, and just the things that you've learned over the years with all your crazy experiences of all the things that you've done.
You know what? Well, first of all, I want to thank you both for having me in the show. It is so awesome to having real conversation like this, to so people could understand not just a hockey conversation, but a conversation about life. And what I want to say to everybody that is listening, and I understand a lot of people are really working really hard, and maybe some of the people that are struggling right now. But what I would say is always believe in yourself and don't listen to the noise around yourself. You could achieve anything that you want, but often, we live our lives for the neighbors and the people around us that are telling us what to do. We only have one life to live, and life is short, and lives go so quickly. So, you know what? Do what you love. Don't wait, don't procrastinate. Go towards your dream, fight, jump, try things, fail, get up, try again. That's what living is. Living is having dreams, try to fulfill them. Try to do something so positive. And it's not to be necessary to be an athlete. There's many dreams that people have in this life that everything's achievable, but it starts with yourself, with the believing in yourself, believe what you could do, believe in faith, work hard, be a good person around people. When you're a good person, good things happens to you. Like it's so important to be positive. Positive energy helps us achieve anything. Negativity is not good. Gossiping is not good. If you're hanging around with people that are gossip, next time you're not around them, they'll be gossiping about around you.
Yeah.
Your surrounding is a reflection of yourself. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. All these things are so important. So, I'm sending y'all positive vibes, much love, and believe that you could achieve and you could push mountains like everyone on this planet.
Awesome. Well,
I
thank
love
you
that.
so much, George. We greatly appreciate you being on the show. Stay blessed, and I can't wait till you're in Edmonton, because I'm gonna convince you to come to church and do a sermon
Yeah.
at the church. I swear to God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Hey,
I will not
let's do
forget.
it.
I will
Let's
not.
do it. And then we'll go for vegan dinner.
Yeah, fantastic. As long as you're gonna order, right? So it's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
perfect.
I'll be so happy to order.
Exactly. Thanks so much, George. Salute.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you, George.
You just have to turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit the leave button, but keep it on for a sec. There we go.
George
I forgot
Laraque,
to
everybody
before.
on the Busted Lip podcast. That listen, I'm telling you, he is literally so many layers to George. And for me, it's always when he's on the show, it's special, man. He's just a special dude. He really is.
He is great. I've known him for years. And like I said, I had to share the story of the first time I met him because
Of course.
I was like, man, this guy's kind of a dick, and because he didn't want,
Well, of
he didn't
course.
want,
Look
he
it up.
didn't want me to show him how to fight,
Yeah.
right? And so I was just like, dude, and I looked at Milan and I was just like, whatever, man, I don't care.
If he
And
doesn't
so-
know, he doesn't know, right?
But he didn't know, and I would
Yeah,
do the same
that's right.
thing maybe in hindsight. Like if Milan said to me, "Hey, have this
Yeah.
kid show you," I don't know, maybe at the time, I don't know. But anyway, I met him after, and I was like, dude, he's actually the coolest, nicest person.
That's awesome.
He gives back all the time. He is, and you're right. There are so many layers. I learned, I've known
Yeah.
him, Oiler days, charity events, forever. Run into him during playoffs and all the things, and there's things that I didn't know about him that I learned today. So it's always great to chat with people like that who are willing to
really
open
is.
and share different views. So I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah, and before we forget, everybody, we want to thank our lovely advertised at Crystal Glass Canada. Well, Crystal Glass Canada, your clear choice for all your glass needs. Go to 310 Glass or go to crystalglass.ca today. And don't forget about Gems for Gems, everybody, empowering survivors of domestic abuse. And we'll put the links up so you can check that out and stay in touch with us every Tuesday on the Busted Lip podcast. Don't forget, next week on the Busted Lip podcast, 6-time kickboxing champion Ray Sefo, PFL president, is going to be on the Busted Lip podcast next week.
I'm excited to talk to him too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Also a man of faith. Just so get ready, Jay. Start reading.
I'm going to have to start going. I'm gonna have. Anyway, I'm lost for words because you guys are just like embarrassing me. You're like, oh, you're not a faith. No, I am a faith. I'm just not educated enough.
That's fantastic. Listen, Jay, you're the best, so I'm not going to ever say anything different than that. You're the best, Jay.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, everybody, we'll see you next week. Don't forget, tune in every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Mountain, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Busted Lip podcast with myself, Mark Pavelich, and the lovely Jelena Mrdjenovich. We'll see you next week, everybody.